Okay, it's on now. Mustafa, you can start.
Sheikh, are you here? Sheikh, are you here?
Okay. We'll make you first. You're the host now, right? Right. Sheikh Khalid not here.
No. Yeah, I think he said he needs some more time. Inshallah, we'll wait for the Sheikh and start as soon as he joins.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me?
I can't see you, Sheikh, but I can hear you.
So I don't know what just happened, but my tablet just crashed and it deleted not everything, nearly everything. So I'm going to need you to bear with me, please, for 1 second.
No worries. Take your time, Sheikh. Take your time.
Subhanallah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
You can use your iPhone, Sheikh.
Akhoya?
You can use your cell phone.
It's not about that, Maulana. الحمد لله مسحة شو اسمه المحاضرات كلهن اللي محضرهن على الوردز كلهن راحن قاعد ادور عليهن هسه. It won't open them up. It's saying that what's it called? It's saying that they have been lost, corrupted, or moved, whatever that means.
You press a wrong button or something, or just out of nowhere it just crashed?
Right now, as we were talking, as I was preparing, as I was setting up the Zoom, it closed the program. I went to reopen it, and the whole system crashed.
Wow.
Inshallah, khairan, inshallah. Khairan, inshallah. I'm ready. Afwan, Azizi Mustafa, I'm ready whenever you are. Bro.
Okay.
You can mute everyone.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Respected Sheikh, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you're all having a good Ramadan so far, and you're making the most out of it. Tonight's program topic is going to be we're going to be picking up on yesterday's program. But before that, we're going to have a short recitation of the Quran by Brother Hussein Ka'bi. So let's welcome him. Wa salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Hussein, you can.
alaikum. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك باليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه من فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد wa ali Muhammad. Ahsantum. Thank you very much for that recitation of the Holy Quran. And without further ado, let's welcome Samahat al-Sheikh Khalid with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. اللهم صل على محمد
وآل محمد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
So due to the technical difficulties that I have just had before the program, inshallah, I will do my best to keep up. However, we're going to make it like we did yesterday. It's going to be a bit more of a dialogue than a monologue. So I want you to chime in. Brothers and sisters, those that are joining us, please, please, please do not be shy. Do not hesitate to share in. Are we clear, inshallah?
Inshallah.
أحسنتم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على نبينا محمد الصادق الأمين وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. In the name of God, the merciful, the beneficent, all prayer and praise is due to the Prophet Muhammad and his holy household. So yesterday, we visited the two verses in Surah Al-Saf, verses 2 and 3, which read, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لِمَ تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَعْقِلُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ كَبُرَ مَقْتًا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَن تَقُولُوا مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. O you who believe, why is it that you say that which you do not do? It is a most detestable act with Allah that you say what you do not do. And we elaborated a bit on that. We kind of veered off topic. We came back onto topic. However, we focused on a concept, or we refer to a concept of jawarih and jawanih, that your actions have to or should represent your intention, your ideology. We refer to where the word ideology comes from. Today, I want to focus on a couple of issues. The first issue I want to refer to is, what if I don't do what I say? Or not that. What if I take what I want from the religion and I leave what I want or what I don't want from the religion? In fact, Mustafa, we see a lot of our youth, a lot of our brothers and sisters, they take what they find is nice and they leave what they don't like, or they leave what's difficult. I remember there was an old quote. It says, it's not that Christianity was tried and found wanting, it's that Christianity was found difficult and left untried. Okay, what the sayer, what the quote, what the person is basically saying, it's not that people tried Christianity and found it lacking, found that it didn't fulfill their needs. It's that people found it difficult, and then therefore they left it, they did not try it. I have a problem with that saying. The problem I have with that saying is if we're saying that God made religion difficult or too difficult for us to try and to adhere to, then that means that he has given us more than we can handle. Or he has put unnecessary pressure upon us. Rather, in the Quran says Allah does not want to put unnecessary pressure on you, but Allah wants to do tazkiyah. Yuridu an yuzakkikum. He wants to purify you. He wants to honor you. He wants to bring you into higher elevations, of course, spiritually speaking. Now, when we look at the individuals, at each individual, and let each individual study this for themselves, look into their own selves. There are those of us that adhere to the religion to a letter. You know, when they come to religion, they cross every T and they dot every I. And that is a very few individuals in this world. There are those of us that come to the religion based upon necessity. In order for me to fit in with my community, therefore I should be of this faith, and I should dress a certain way, and I should act a certain way. Not only that, I should listen to certain music. I should listen to certain rawadi. I should listen to certain madahi. Okay? Why? Because I want to associate with this specific community. While others, they say, you know what? I want to fit in with the community that I'm in general. For example, I live in Canada, I live in America, I live in the West. In order for me to fit in, I have to listen to this rapper or this singer or drive this car or wear this specific attire. That right there creates what we call izdiwajiyya, which means what? Creates two individuals that are fighting within you as an individual. So on the one end, you're being dragged to want to fit into the North American society, the Western civilization. While on the other end, you're being torn to the other part by wanting to fit in with your origin, by wanting to fit in with the, whether it be Arab, Islamic, Pakistani, Hindi, you know, Persian, Afghani, whatever community you come from. So what you end up what ends up being done is you end up being torn between these two identities. And eventually, either one will take over or you will have animosity towards one due to the other. So we find out with let's not say a lot, we find out with some youth is that they end up developing animosity towards their heritage or towards the Western civilization that they live in. And this is the cause because they did not know how to deal with this fight between the two cultures. Let's not kid ourselves. Those two cultures will never mingle and become one. Okay? That's not a negative point. An African American still has not become an American American. Still an African American. What do we call them? African Americans. Even though they were brought there deliberately by force, put into slave labor, and when the slave labor is done, what do they start calling them? African Americans. Go back to Africa. Even though they were brought there by force, they were forced to be there. The Japanese and the Asians were brought here, or not here, I mean, I'm not there right now, but were brought to North America to work and build the railroads. Yet they were still being demeaned. And the second World War happened, what happens? They gathered all of the Japanese and put them in concentration camps. Okay? Out of fear. Why? Because two cultures will never become one. They are polar opposite cultures. Now you're going to say to me, but hold on. Why are the Irish, the Scottish, the English, the Polish, all of these cultures, why did they intermingle and become one? That's because in the beginning, they were closer together than we are. There was a unifying bond between them, whether it be Christianity, Protestantism, whatever it is. there was a unifying reason that brought them together. And not only that, up until recently, they were still divided. I remember when I first came to Canada, everybody used to make fun of Newfoundlanders, the Newfies, because they were still different, and they still are different. Eastern Canadians made fun of Western Canadians. Western Canadians made fun of Eastern Canadians. In the States, they make fun of the Mid-South. The Mid-South makes fun of the East and what have you. Why? Because they come from different origins. Of course, in the scheme of things, they put that aside, but there's still something within them. What I'm trying to say here is, don't neglect and try to push aside your difference. Rather, embrace that difference. There is no reason. For example, when I was growing up, I was given the name of Cal, not Khalid, not Khalid. Khalid is impossible for them to pronounce, and they would make fun of me for that name. So it started as Khalid. Then it became Cal, because Khalid was too much, Khalid, so it became just Cal, okay? When I finally grew up, and I'm like, no, my name is Khalid, okay? It was too late. That name had already taken place. And I allowed it to take place. Why? Because I thought I wanted to fit in. I did not realize that my strength, my origin of strength, where I draw strength from, is the fact that I am different, but I can still fit in. Is the fact that I am different, but I accept the difference that is in between us. For example, Khalid is not a holy name, but Muhammad is. For you to go from Muhammad to Mo, okay, that is, I don't want to say blasphemous, but that is horrible. You should take pride of your name. Your name is Muhammad. Your name is the best names. The saying says, the saying goes, خَيْرُ الْأَسْمَاءِ مَا عُبِّدَ وَحُمِّدَ. The best of names are those that start with an Abd or Muhammad. Those are the best of names. Or your name is Ali. Okay, Ali, you don't have to change it. Everybody calls you Ali. That's not a big deal. In fact, I don't know anybody that has changed their name Ali to anything else. What I'm trying to say here is, what, Al?
Al.
Yeah, you had to remove the vowel, right? Or the last vowel. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. What ends up happening here is you end up creating animosity by doing that towards your origin. Of course, coupled with the fact that a lot of the communities and those in the communities, whether their English be not perfect English, whether it be that they struggle sometimes expressing their desires and their goals for you as a child, what you need to do is you need to take that into consideration. You need to do a couple of things. First of all, none of us, nor our parents, are infallible. So the first thing we need to sit down and do is we need to point out my flaws, my mistakes. Why am I at constant odds with my father? You understand what I mean? So why am I constantly arguing with my father? Why is it that my father does not want me to go out Saturday nights and go downtown, for example? Why is it that my father does not want me to hang out with Joe and John and Mo and Al, okay? So what I need to do in order for me to reduce that level of animosity that I have and that being torn apart, and don't kid yourself, I know you are, and I'm not talking to you specifically, Mustafa, I'm talking to the youth in general, okay? Is that tear that you have within you, that's shredding you apart, where you want to be religious, but you want to listen to music. You want to be religious, but you want to get a face tattoo like Mike Tyson. You want to be religious, but you want to get full sleeves from neck to your toes, okay? Now, the second part, getting tattoos and being religious are not at odds, okay? But being religious and listening to music is. So what this individual ends up doing is they end up taking snippets from their religion. How do they take snippets from their religion? Well, The Quran didn't clearly state that you can't be drunk or you can't drink. Well, why? Because it didn't say that alcohol is haram. And I'm not kidding. This is a friend of ours actually came up to me and actually said this. He says, give me a quote from the Quran that says that alcohol is haram. Not khamr, alcohol. You get the difference? Not khamr, alcohol. Yeah, but it's the same thing. No. Vodka is made from potatoes. This is made from, so he started literally splitting hairs to try to get to his point. What we have to do is we have to realize that itself, Mustafa, is a form of kufr. And I know some people are like, whoa, hold on, you're going to call me a kafir? I'm not saying that. That's not me saying it. This is the imam saying it. Okay? Well, we need to understand that kufr has multiple faces, multiple ways, multiple representations. And I know this is going to weigh heavy, okay? And I know we don't have a lot of time. Well, how much time do we have until Adhan, Mustafa?
We have around 22 minutes, 23 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you still see me, Mustafa?
I can't. Yeah, now I see you.
Okay.
Now I see you. Yeah.
Okay. So the Quran speaks about a group of people. These group of people we call as infidels, as kafirs. If you open up your Quran and you go to Surah Al-Baqarah and you go to verse number 6, it says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Okay? This is clear cut. Those who have blasphemed, those who do not believe, whether you warn them or you do not warn them, they shall never believe. However, we have a different verse, and this is the verse that we want to look into. This verse says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُمْ ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا فَانظُرْ كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُفْسِدِينَ. وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا, and they rejected it. However, their soul, their spirit, accepted it. Meaning what? Meaning they were at odds. One part of them refused it. Their soul accepted it. However, the Quran here answers a question. Why did they reject it? Why did they reject this message? ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا. Out of animosity, out of hatred, out of oppression, they wanted to be exalted on earth, and out of oppression. They feared for their positions. They feared for how they were, where they were. Then it says, then look on to their end, how their end will be. Pay attention to it. فَانظُرْ كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُفْسِدِينَ. They were corrupt. Look at their end. Now you're going to say to me, hold on. جَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسَهُمْ. I'm trying to say, that this is referring to a specific meaning. When we look at Surah Al-Baqarah, as we said, Surah Al-Baqarah here speaks about Al-Kafirin in general. However, when the Imam, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, is asked, an Imam is approached by one of his companions. Are you with me, Mustafa?
I can't see you anymore.
What happened? Why not?
I don't know.
You don't know? I don't know either.
It's there you go.
Can you
It's
see me
back.
now?
It's back, yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm having a hard time today. I don't know. Like I told you, for those that were not aware, I'm having a hard time because something crashed in my tablet and it's messing everything up.
No problem. It's all good.
A man came, a man by the name of Amr al-Zubayri, okay, came to the Imam, and he said to Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq salawatullahi wa salam alayhi, and he said to him, Yabna Rasulullah, how many types of kufr are mentioned in the Quran? That's a straightforward question, right? The first time I read this verse, I was like, wait a minute, there's different types of kufr. I was in my early 20s. I was like, wait a minute, there's different types of kufr. I thought kufr was only one type. The Imam says, no, there's different types of kufr. The Imam says that there's 5 types of kufr in Islam. The first 2 are called kufr al-juhud. The third one is the kufr in rejecting what Allah or not doing what Allah has commanded you to fulfill. The third one is kufr al-bara'ah, or the fourth one, sorry, or the kufr of rejection. And the fifth one is the kufr in blessings. Now, for those of us that have tuned in, I always refer to this because we need to realize from this narration, Brother Mustafa, our actions. We see Iblis. What was Iblis's biggest mistake, Mustafa?
His biggest mistake was not obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when he told him to
Do sujood.
sujood to Adam.
How many times did he disobey Allah? 7, 8, 9?
One time.
One time.
One time.
In that one action, Iblis became shaitan. You know what the word shaitan means? Shaitan
Devil.
is a title, it's not a name. Okay?
Mm.
Shaitan is a title, it's not a name. I believe Iblis' actual name is Azazel, I believe, or if you say Azazel, I think it is in English. Nonetheless, Shaitan means he, al-madrud min rahmatillah, he who has been kicked out of the mercy of Allah. Sorry, do I have a question?
No, I think someone unmuted themselves by accident.
Okay. If we have a question, by all means, interrupt. So, shaitan means he who has been kicked out of the mercy of Allah. Okay? Shaitan disobeyed that one action. He became shaitan. Now, we're going to go through this narration, and I want the brothers and sisters to see where most people fit in and where we fit in. Let's not point the finger at the others. Let's see if we have these attributes. Okay? Are we ready?
Yep. Ready.
So, we said the first is kufr al-juhud. Okay? And kufr al-juhud is divided into 2. The first is al-juhud bil-rububiyyah. What does juhud mean? Juhud means to refuse. Okay? To refuse, to reject. Okay? Which is the rejection of those that say there is no God, no heaven, no hell. Rather, it's simply the universe and time, and we are born to it and we die by it, and there's nothing at the end. Who does that remind you of? I don't want to say names, but a very famous speaker who says there is no such thing as heaven and hell, will die, and there is nothing that comes after. Okay? This is a form of religion. Let's call it atheism. Okay? In all honesty, when you look at atheism, at modern atheism, you see that in even old atheism, it's a form of religion that they have invented for themselves. They don't call it religion because they give a specific understanding to religion, which is an adherence to a set of laws. But when you see how they adopt atheism, it is no different than the way you and I adopt religion. Okay? They made this idea for themselves as a way for them, as we say in Arabic, istihsan, to make themselves feel better about their belief system, about the lack thereof. Okay? Anyway, the Imam says that these individuals simply follow dhann. وَمَا يَتَّبِعُونَ إِلَّا الظَّنِّ. They follow their own whims. They really have no idea whether it's true or not. In fact, ask any atheist. I remember there's a scenario that played out in front of the Imam, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, where the Imam walks by a man and he hears him saying, can you believe these believers? They walk around this Kaaba as if the Kaaba can benefit or harm them. Or as if the Kaaba has a God and that God can benefit or harm. The Imam looks at him and he says to him, listen, if what you say is true, if there is no God, there is no heaven, there is no hell, no problem. Let's say that that is true. If that is true, okay, then we have shared this world with you. Look at every individual on earth, believer, non-believer, Christian, Jew, Muslim, Buddhist, Sikh, Hindu, whatever religion they might be, or lacking in religion, atheists, agnostics, whatever they want to call themselves, different groups, different belief systems. We shared this world with them. They have a house, I have a house. They have a wife, I have a wife. They have a car, I have a car. They eat, I eat. They sleep, I sleep. They shower, I shower. They, at the varying different levels of comforts and discomforts in this world.
Mm-hmm.
So the Imam tells him, he says, if what you claim is true, and the emphasis here is on if what you claim is true, then we have shared this world with you. And if what we claim is true, and it is true, the Imam, look at how specific the Imam is in his wording. The Imam says, وَإِن كَانَ مَا نَقُولُ هُوَ الْحَقِّ وَهُوَ الْحَقِّ. If what we claim is true, and it is true, okay, then you have nothing in the hereafter. So, let's say for argument's sake, if there is no hereafter, and you're a religious man, you spend your years praying, spend your whole your days 5 times a day praying, 1 month a year fasting, being good, giving to people, helping the poor, helping the needy. What have you lost? I'm asking you, Mustafa, what have you lost?
Nothing.
If there is no religion, if religion is a construct of human emotion and mind, what have you lost? You've become a good person on earth.
Mm-hmm.
People are more inclined to like you.
Lost nothing.
You've lost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's nothing in the hereafter, you've lost nothing. Literally, you've lost nothing. If anything, you've gained piety, you've gained sincerity, you've gained truth of mind, truth of heart, truth of soul.
Mm-hmm.
But if there is a hereafter, then you have gained that hereafter. On the opposite hand, if you're a non-believer, and in this world you did not believe, I'm not going to say you're a bad person, because you might not be a bad person. You might be a very good person. You might be a very good humanitarian. You might be you might help the weak, help the needy, be good to your family. All of that. You might be a good person in general, but you're not a religious person. Again, if there is no hereafter, you have lost nothing in this world. But if there is a hereafter, then you have lost that hereafter. Is that clear?
Mm-hmm.
So in this world, whether you're pious, religious, God-fearing, or you're not, you might not gain or lose anything. You might, I'm saying might. In actuality, you will gain or lose if you're a religious individual or not. Okay? And we can go into details. But in the hereafter, you will lose if you're not religious, if there is a hereafter. That is what we call دفع الضرر المحتمل, pushing away the possibility of harm, pushing away the possibility of misfortune. So if I tell you now, okay, if you get into your car, there is a 50-50 chance that car will crash and you will die.
I won't get in.
Would you take that risk?
No.
It's a 50-50. You might not. But you're not willing to take that risk.
No.
Let's say, for argument's sake, that it's 50-50 chance that there is a hereafter. Why wouldn't you put in work in order for you to go to receive reward in the hereafter? Nonetheless, that's just just a couple of words on a side note, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So we said that these individuals follow their own whims, okay? And that the Quran says about them, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا سَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ أَنذَرْتَهُمْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. They have because they have locked their minds. That's it. They don't want to hear it. You know, oh, if there is a God, I want to see him. Where is he? Bring him down right now. Okay. This individual, when you start when someone comes to you with this, if God exists, let him come down, automatically stop arguing with this person. Because this individual has locked their brain to the concept of faith and belief. And whether logical or okay. Hence the Quran says these individuals have locked their minds. Whether you warn them or you do not warn them, they will never be guided. Now, that is the first. The second type of juhud, excuse me. The second type of juhud is juhud based on knowledge, is juhud based on certainty. Okay? Juhud based on certainty. Where do we find this? وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا. They have rejected it. وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسَهُم. Yet their souls is certain of it. وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسَهُم ظُلْمًا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسَهُم ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا. These individuals have certainty. However, because, for example, let's take one example, Abu Sufyan. Mustafa, do you know how Abu Sufyan became a Muslim?
Remind me, please.
Abu Sufyan was the last individual. He was from the called Al-Khulaqa, those that were set free by the Prophet. When the army of the Prophet, when the Muslims marched in onto Mecca, okay, Abu Sufyan was one of those individuals that were captives. They were captured. And they were brought to the Prophet. Abu Sufyan used to look at the Prophet and he would say, Ya Muhammad, ma ajmalak, ma akmalak. How beautiful are you? How complete are you of an individual? The Prophet would say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa anni Rasulullah. That there is no Allah but Allah and I am his messenger. He would say, Ya Muhammad, I agree that there is no God but your God. Because if there was a God with your God, you wouldn't have won. If any of our gods existed, your God wouldn't have won. Because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions broke literally every mold. They went they were the underdogs till the very end. They went against all odds and they became a nation. A nation that took over the world after the Prophet. Nonetheless, so he says, if there is a God other than your God, you wouldn't have won. However, there is something within my heart from saying that you are his messenger. I can't simply agree to the fact that you are his messenger. Al-Abbas takes Abu Sufyan. Al-Abbas, the uncle of the Prophet, and Abu Sufyan were friends. Al-Abbas takes Abu Sufyan and they're standing, they're watching the armies march. Abu Sufyan looks at Al-Abbas and he says to him, Ya Abbas, your cousins or your nephew, your nephew's mulk, your nephew's wealth has become grand. He has armies, he has a whole cities. Abbas looks at him, he says, Ya Abu Sufyan, it is prophecy, it is not wealth. So we see Abu Sufyan, he knows that there is no God but Allah. But he rejects it deliberately. He rejects it deliberately. That is the second type of juhud.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what did we say here? We said there's two types of juhud. Juhud on deliberate juhud, and we said that there is the dahriya, which is those that say there is no God and that there is no hereafter.
Mm-hmm.
The other type, the third type is the type which is al-kufru bin-ni'mah. Al-kufru bin-ni'mah is blaspheming in the blessings of Allah. Where do we find this? We find this in the verse, in the wording of Sulaiman in the Quran. What does Sulaiman say? We all know the story of Asif ibn Barkhiyah, correct? Where he saw the throne of Balqis standing in front of him at the blink of an eye. He says, هذا من فضل ربي. This is by the grace of my Lord. ليبلوني. Allah here wants to test me. Allah wants to try me. Shall I be thankful or shall I blaspheme? أشكر أم أكفر؟ ومن شكر فإنما يشكر لنفسه. And he who's thankful is thankful for their own selves, for their own benefits. ومن كفر فإن ربي غني كريم. And he who blasphemes is irrelevant because Allah is غني and kareem. Allah is honorable and not in need, self-sufficient. Now, the Quran says, وَلَئِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. And if you are thankful, I shall give you plenty more. وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي شَدِيدٌ. See here, Allah says, if you are thankful, I'll give you more. But then He does not say if you're unthankful. Right? We all speak Arabic, and for those that don't, we can explain it. The Quran says, لَئِن شَكَرْتُمْ. If you are grateful, if you are thankful, لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. I shall give you plenty more. وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ. What is the opposite of thanks? Mustafa, you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So,
being thankful.
If you're thankful, I will give you more. Now, shouldn't the opposite of that say, and if you're not thankful?
Yeah, but it
right?
doesn't say that.
That's the opposite. The opposite of gratefulness is ungratefulness.
Yeah.
So technically, it should be وَلَئِن لَمْ تَشْكُرُوا. But no, the Quran says وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ. If you blaspheme. Meaning what? Meaning that if you're ungrateful, it's considered blasphemy. It is considered kufr. If you are ungrateful. Indeed, my torment is great.
Sheikhna, what does that word mean exactly? Blaspheme?
Blaspheme?
Yeah.
Blaspheme is to go against God's teaching.
Okay.
A blasphemous act. Blaspheme is literally, it means a form of kufr. That you're doing shirk, that you're doing kufr. That's called blasphemy. Okay? So, Ahsantum, by the way, please point those out, brothers and sisters. If you hear me, if there's words you don't understand, let me know and I will explain them clearly. Okay? So we see the first part of the verse says, if you are thankful, I will give you plenty more. And the second part says, and if you blaspheme, if you reject, if you're ungrateful. But Allah does not use the term ungrateful. Allah uses the term kufr. Then my torment is great. Then Allah says, فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. In a different verse, remember me and I shall remember you. وَاشْكُرُوا لِي, and be thankful to me and be grateful to me. وَلَا تَكْفُرُوا, and do not blaspheme. Again, Allah has put the opposite of being grateful as blasphemy, as doing kufr. Okay? We don't have much time left, do we?
Yeah, just 2 more minutes. Yeah, time's almost up.
Okay, why don't we leave it up here? Because I want to focus, inshallah, tomorrow on the last 2 parts. Okay, the last 2 parts I want to focus on. Do we have any questions?
I don't see anything on the chat. But Sheikhna, you said there were 5 types?
There were.
There's the first type, there's 2 kinds.
Yes.
And then there's
so kufr al-juhud, which is 2, right? There's kufr al-juhud, al-kufr bil-ni'mah, kufr al-bara'ah, wal-kufr bima amara Allah bih.
Okay.
5. Okay?
So there's 4 types, but technically there's 5. Like the first type has 2 kinds.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The first one is divided into 2. I mean, essentially what we could do, what we could say is we can say al-kufr or the kufr in Allah's command, or let's not say that way. Let's say the kufr based on knowledge and kufr based on whims. Okay? Both of those go under the concept of juhud. Juhud means rejection. Okay?
Mhm.
So when we hear the term kafir, what usually comes to our mind is what is the one that says there is no God, no hereafter, no heaven, right? That's what we usually understand from kafir. However, that is not the only term. There's multiple understandings of that one.
Okay. And did we just finish up on al-kufru bin ni'ma, or is there more to it?
لا, inshallah, al-kufr bin ni'mah, we'll stop with that.
Okay.
If you want, we can go more into detail tomorrow, inshallah.
Inshallah. If there's
What I want from the brothers and sisters is, if you guys did not understand a lot from today, if you guys found it heavy or difficult, let me know and we'll break it down into further or into easier segments, inshallah.
inshallah. So I don't see any questions, Sheikhna, and I think iftar is in a minute. So
Okay.
I think we'll stop there.
Habibi, at your service, inshallah.
Habibi,
Sorry
Sheikhna.
for the technical difficulties. I don't know what happened with my iPad. It's not an iPad. They call it an iPad in Iraq, but it really it's a
Tablet.
It's a Galaxy tablet.
Yeah.
It just shut down and it erased almost everything. I don't know why. Allah Kareem.
Yeah, that's very strange. I don't know. I would help you if I knew what the problem was, but inshallah,
when
you
you
figure out.
you can help me.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Ahsantum. Barakallah feek. Thank you so much. Inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow.
مع السلامة. All right, guys. Iftar is 8:23, so right now. So inshallah, I will make the adhan right now. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا حجة الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. حي على خير العمل. حي على خير العمل. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. لا إله إلا الله. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وسلم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Inshallah, you all enjoy your iftar and we'll see you all tomorrow night. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.